If you're a car guy, I'm sure one of the things that you want to do is lower your car. Your two main options are putting coilovers or bags on. I chose coilovers and I've had them on for about a year. I'm making this video to help you guys in the process on trying to figure out how you're going to lower your car, making sure you pick the right products. So this is my BMW E36 M3 and I have BC Racing coilovers on it. They are the BR type coilovers. BC Racing is one of the top brands for coilovers and I highly recommend them. So let's start off with installation. So I installed these about a year ago and they were relatively easy to install if it wasn't for my car being like 25 years old. There was a lot of rust on my previous suspension, so that's one thing to keep in mind. If you are planning on doing it yourself, you're gonna definitely run into some problems trying to take bolts off and stuff like that. So definitely keep that in mind. It was a one-day job, so if you can do it yourself, I would definitely recommend doing that because you don't want to pay somebody a ton of money when you could get the experience yourself and know exactly what you're doing to your car. In the thumbnail, you saw that picture of my car before I put Apex wheels on it. I'll talk about the process of having to adjust the ride height after a year of already having them on because the wheels are definitely a lot wider than the OEM ones. So I had to raise the car up and I did that about a week ago, and I'll just go over any difficulties I had or anything like that, just in case if you are planning on lowering your car on your stock wheels and eventually putting aftermarket wheels on it. The BC Racing coilovers are definitely the way to go. There's a lot of customizable abilities with the coilovers. There's damping, ride height, obviously, that's what you're gonna do. But I have mine set super stiff because I don't have much room here, and if I hit a big bump, then it could bend my fenders. So I want it to be as stiff as possible so the wheels don't move up and down as much. So it's actually really good if you're trying to dial in some fitment without having to roll your fenders. I eventually will probably roll my fenders just to get, just so I can lower it some and it'll be more flush. But one thing I noticed when we put the Apex wheels on and had to raise it, the coilovers definitely seem to be worn down a little. Like obviously after a year of use, they've been through a lot. I daily drive this to school, so they've definitely been on some questionable roads, but they definitely did not look brand new when I had to raise them, and it was a little bit difficult to raise the back, but the front was really easy. My car definitely handled a lot better after coilovers, which is something that you should expect because the BR type ones come with camber plates. I'm not sure if the other ones did, but they should have. So I have my camber maxed out right now, just so I can get a little bit more of the tire inside the fender, and it actually makes the car handle really well. In the summer, it handles corners amazing. If you don't have the budget to go and buy BC Racing coilovers, definitely look around for other options because BC Racing is not the only option out there. Definitely don't buy eBay coilovers. You don't want to have a big accident and like tear a hole through your strut towers or anything like that. Especially with the E36s, the back strut towers, if you have some rust, definitely do not install coilovers until you get the strut tower braces to make sure that the coilovers don't completely rip through the top of it. I had no prior experience with installing suspension before I got my BC Racing coilovers, so you can definitely do it yourself. After a year of driving it, it's been amazing. I've only had a few issues getting in and out of places just because it was so low. I had problems on speed bumps. I would scrape my exhaust some. Overall, really good experience. Definitely recommend BC Racing coilovers. I'll put a link in the description of the product if you're interested in them. But yeah, if you have any questions about the coilovers themselves, go ahead and type those down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, it helps out a lot. Definitely make some reviews on the wheels, and I'll try to make more videos on my E36. And we also have this Mark III Supra. We have wheels coming for that. We'll probably do suspension. So if you're interested in anything with a Mark III Supra, definitely subscribe.